The honey block and its sister block, the honeycomb block, two incredible new blocks in Minecraft. These have a lot of uses, just like how slime really revolutionized a lot of redstone contraptions. Honey block is going to do the exact same thing. There's a lot of different behaviors and new mechanics with this block, so let's jump into everything. So here we are inside of a world where we have so much honey block madness. So let's get into it. We got the honey block and its sister, the honeycomb block. I am going to cover a little bit about the honeycomb block as well as the honey block. How do you obtain the honey block? And we'll cover the honeycomb block at the same time. If you happen to have a beehive or a bee nest that happens to also be completely full of honey, you can take a bottle and you will grab the honey out of a completely full nest or hive. Then it will be empty. You'll use up a bottle and you'll get a new one in your inventory. Take that to a crafting table, or actually you can actually do it in the player menu as well, in the player's crafting table, because all it takes is a 2x2, just 4 items, and you will have a honey block as the output. Something that is nice is that you can use your recipe book, and if you click the honey block, remember honey bottles don't stack, so you can't really shift click, that won't do anything. You'll get the honey block, you can grab it out of there, click again, and it will move your used bottles out of the way. So down here we have, here I'll throw these bottles out of here and those bottles out of here. We have 4 empty bottles in our crafting area. If we click, it will move those down out of the crafting area and move the new bottles in, which is very, very nice. Next, let's talk about the honeycomb block just for a moment, and all that takes is some shears, and if you shear either the hive or the nest, then you will get some honeycomb as a result. Same thing, you just need to use the 2x2 crafting grid and you'll get the honeycomb block out of it, and same situation that you can just click over there and get the same honeycomb or honey block out of it. Once you have created both of these, they can't be uncrafted. So you can't put the honey block and some glass bottles in here and get honey bottles out. It is what it is now. And same thing with honeycomb, you can't get the honeycomb back. Now, they have completely new sounds, which is really, really cool. So here, I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit, and I've turned up my game sounds all the way. Here is what it sounds like when you place down the honey block. And then the honeycomb block, this is what it sounds like. To break them, the honey block is instant, just like with slime, and the honeycomb block takes a little bit. And it sounds very like juicy in there when it's breaking and being placed down. In fact, the honeycomb block sounds a lot more juicy than I would like expect. It's still filled with honey, it sounds like. This is what they look like in a big area. So the honeycomb looks really like a great wallpaper, a very, very yellow wallpaper, but a great wallpaper in general. And then the honey block is still translucent all the way through. You can see all the world back there, and that's what it looks like in a grid. Now let's talk a little bit about walking and running on this stuff and some of the behaviors of the block. You move slower when you are standing on the honey block, and if you sprint, you get little honey particles out of the back, but you still move very, very slowly. Another thing is that your jump is limited. So if I jump here, I'm jumping a lot less than I normally do on a block. In fact, I need to break one of these guys here to get on top. Here is what a normal jump is, an entire block, and this is not an entire block. The honey block also has some interesting behaviors that when you are attached to the side, it will slow you down, which is kind of neat. And we're going to demonstrate that a little bit more over here. I do want to mention that as you walk into a honey block, you're actually a little bit deeper into the block than you would be with a normal block. So got a honey block here. On top of it, I'm going to put a normal block, the honeycomb block. and you can see I'm pushed right up against it. I'm moving around just a bit. If I break, whoops, didn't mean to do that. If I break the honeycomb on top, I can move in just a tiny amount whenever that block is broken. So keep not meaning to do that. Here, okay, there we go. See, I'm walking into it, break it, and I can move in just a small amount. And that'll show up on your F3 menu as well. But what that means is that if there is a solid block beneath the honey block, you'll actually be standing on that block if you go over. So I'm not holding crouch or anything like I would with some ladders. If you're just happen to be standing over a solid block, it'll hold you up. So this right over here doesn't have a solid block. So if I move over to it, it will make me fall. And you can also do some interesting parkour stuff where I'm standing on this over here, and then I could jump to the other side if I'm a little bit better with timing. There we go. Jump from one side to the other, which I could see, you know, the floor being lava or something and needing to get from one side to the other. It is a little bit difficult because you can either just walk straight off or you could do it a little bit too early and not make your way across. So let's explore a little bit more about falling down the edge of the honey block. And we have a little teleport situation right here. So you teleport up and you can see that we slowly slide down the edge of the block. And this is true also with okay, we gotta do it one more time. Get out of here, sheep. That's not what I meant to do. It's true with mobs, if they would stay, and also true with items and entities. So those items and entities are slowly falling down as well. This can be a great way to stop your fall. So right here, I have some honey blocks here to sort of get my momentum correct or get my placement correct. And then there's an open space, and as long as I don't move, the blocks will catch me on the way down and I'll be completely safe. And I'm in survival here, so I would actually get hurt if you know I did this incorrectly. Also, honey blocks will break your fall a little bit, just like hay bales will as well. So here I'm at full health as I fall. I only took 2 hearts of damage if I was not hitting the honey. So let's fall over on this side over. Oh my gosh, I gotta jump there, this way. Not hitting the honey. 9.5 hearts, so I'm almost dead. Also, you can use that slow falling to your advantage, and this little situation I have set up is obviously going off in a diagonal direction, and you can walk into the side, slow fall, get a little bit of momentum up, so you can still walk and move while you're falling. And I could see this being used for really awesome maps as well, and it is very fun to do, I will say. It's an awful lot of fun to kind of slide down the edge of the honey. Ooh, and you can get over here, over to the edge and kind of get it all perfect and nicely set yourself down. I think that is a very, very, very cool mechanic. Now, let's talk a little bit more about some movement with it. I mentioned earlier that as you jump, you are limited. And so here's a full block. I cannot get on top of that full block from standing on honey. Now we have some slabs here, and slabs you can just walk on, and then I assume, I don't even know if you jump high enough to get past them, but the walking capability kind of takes over, and then you just walk on top of it. Right here I have some snow layers here. I have them set up to be the exact same size as the slab. I know that visually it looks like it is one more than the slab, but actually if you walk on it, it's exactly the same. You kind of sink into the snow a little bit. Over here, I have one that visually looks like it's the same size, but you'll see I moved down just a bit. This is actually the exact same size as a slab, so I can walk up to it. Next to it is just one little itty bitty bit taller, and I can neither jump over it or walk onto it. So that is it kind of proves the rule that slab is the most that you can walk up whenever you are standing on top of a honey block. Next, let's talk a little bit about redstone. I have to slide right off those honey blocks there. And right here, I have some slime blocks and some of the honey blocks as well. And they both work how you would expect with redstone and pistons. Pistons will push and pull them. These are sticky pistons, so the sticky pistons will bring them back. And they will also push and pull blocks, just as you would expect, based off of what we've seen with slime, which is funny because slime is kind of bouncy, but I guess it's also sticky at the same time. Anyway, there's some glazed terracotta over there that does not move whenever this is powered as well. Glazed terracotta will work the exact same as it always has. Now, there are some differences though. First off being that if I'm standing on this slime and I hit the lever there, you can see that I don't move along with the slime. If I'm standing though on the honey block and I hit the lever, you'll see that I move along with the rest of the honey. So from my perspective, it looks like this. You can see the switch moving, and then over here on the slime, the opposite of that, where I just stand still. This means that flying machines can carry a player, and this also works with entities. So you can see that dirt right there, it will actually move forward and back, and this works with mobs too. Well, as long as he kind of stays in one spot and he's not moving around. When it comes to moving blocks, there is still that 13 limit that we've sort of always seen with slime. So slime, right here, you can see that we have 3x4, so this is 12 blocks, and they can be pushed and pulled. And the moment that you add the 13th block onto that, then this does not work anymore. And you can really think of this as these are all sort of the same category of block of pushing and pulling. Your count doesn't change based off of slime or honey, and they are connected in the fact that even if you have a piston on any side, it'll move those blocks exactly how you would expect it to. There is a small difference. Right here we have a redstone line going into a repeater through the block to another repeater and to a lamp, and slime will conduct redstone through it where the honey block will not. So you can see the redstone on the back side and on the front side, but that is not true with the honey block, and so the redstone lamp is not powered. And that is because the honey block, like mentioning before, how you can walk sort of into the side of it just a bit. Same thing with the height of it. So I'm standing on top, there is a small height difference, like I mentioned before, and blocks that are full height value can do a few things. You can put rail on top or torches, which you cannot do with the honey block because it's not a full-size block because you sink into it just a little bit. So this is a translucent, transparent block, and the slime is not. Also, for those of you who are super paying attention, I did get a haircut in the middle of this video, so that's why I switched the looks in the middle, if you notice that. Good for you. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMG Craft, all about the brand new honey block. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a big old thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. See you next time. Bye.